we are back live to wrap up the 6 days in the Dome, 24-hour and 48-hour fixed time coverage. I am your co-host, Rob Ricardo.
I'm your other co-host, Matt Feldick. It's great to be back here in the studio today, Rob.
Yeah, it is definitely kind of surreal to see that as we went home, caught a few Z's, that a lot of these runners that we were looking at yesterday are still out there on the track, logging the miles, putting in the work. And so lots of updates from overnight. But of course, the big one of the day, as we take you over to the Dome itself, this is a live look at the last hour of the 48-hour and 24-hour fixed time event distances here. I believe that was Jamila we just saw on the screen. So the big story is that we were here yesterday to mostly focus on Taggart Van Etten throwing down for the 100-mile world record, and to do it in a very fast fashion at sub 11 hours. And of course, that required a lightning fast pace. He went out and said he'd rather DNF instead of finishing with a minute under the world record, which was 11:14:56. And sure enough, the former is what happened. He did drop out of the race at around 61.44 miles. But we did catch up with Taggart, and he is in good spirits, and it just wasn't his day. So, yeah, it was quite the event to witness, Matt.
Yeah, and the good thing is, Rob, that we had a number of other storylines that we could still bring to the people. So we were able to follow the battle to 100 miles between Nick Curry and Jacob Moss, both men, U.S. 24-hour team winner or members, and Nick Curry closing it down late in the evening yesterday, running his last lap as his fastest lap, Rob, and coming away with a massive PR, just under 13 hours and 21 minutes for 100 miles. Other storylines we were following yesterday was Olivier Leblond, the American record holder at 48 hours. He pulled the plug at about 37 hours, so right around the time that Nick Curry finished his 100 miles, Olivier called it a day. We do still have Marissa Lizak out there. She is the female 100-mile American record holder the female American record holder at 48 hours. She is not moving super swiftly, so it does not look like she will catch Olivier Leblond in the 48-hour event. It looks like about 7 or 8 laps behind Olivier with an hour to go, which is just about, about 2.5 miles or so. But the reports on the ground are that she is not moving very quickly. And then we had a shift up in the men's and women's standings for the 24-hour, Rob. Alex Ramsey is your current leader for the overall 24-hour, with Angie Darbison being your female leader. They are both on the same lap, and both of them are trying to catch the Friday 24-hour leader. So they're running hard, trying to see if they can get the overall 24-hour win today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just been incredible to watch these runners just continue to plug along and throw down the miles, no matter the speed, whether they're running a 126 final lap as Nick Curry did, or if they're putting in, if they're just walking and taking their breaks to get there. That is the name of the game in these fixed time events. It is about moving forward, that relentless forward progress at whatever cost, whatever it takes to get it done. So we will try to, in a bit, maybe check in down on the ground. We'll bring you a view now trackside of all the action. And I will say, Matt, I did have an opportunity to very quickly this morning catch up with Taggart by way of Instagram, and we just sent a few messages back and forth. He seems to, he's in great spirits, and he's determined to get that sub 11 hours. And he made a point that I made, the same point that I made last night when I went home and I was talking to my wife about it, that, it took Jim Walmsley a few times to get his Western States, not only the win, but that 14:30, that low 14, and then, of course, it's now 14:10.
That guy's really happy. I want to know who that guy is. Sorry to cut you off there, Rob.
Oh, it's all good.
I believe that is Louis Gomez, bib 126. He looked like he was having himself a great time. So shout out to Louis, fist pumping around the track. But no, Rob, I think you're exactly right. I think that when you're trying to do really hard stuff, sometimes it takes you a couple tries. There's no doubt in my mind that Taggart's going to be back, is going to be continuing to do hard things, and as they say, Rob, shoot or shoot. And so I hope he keeps shooting his shot at some of these big challenges, and he's going to fall short on some, and he's going to accomplish others, and I think that that's an important part of the process.
Absolutely, it really is the only way to get something like that done. You don't get a record like that by playing it safe. It just doesn't happen that way.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, again, we're going to continue to take a live look inside the Pettit National Ice Center. And, Matt, I might add, there's no hockey going on today, so it might be an off day for the rink runners out there.
Yeah, well, it's the golden hour, Rob, so we can't have dual sport coverage. We need to give these runners all of our attention as they close down the show for the 24-hour and 48 hours. And then you see, with the long hair in lane 1 there, Miss Jamila, she was in the Friday 24-hour. She is in the Saturday 24-hour and is wrapping that up. And then she's going to get her next journey underway this afternoon, Rob, as she signed up for the Sunday 6-day.
That's right, she did. And she is basically doing because of the way things are set up this year, she's essentially doing the 8 days in the Dome as the 6-hour race starts when these two races end.
Yeah, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that she is in Vol State later this year. So I believe that a big part of this event is her wanting to push herself, but her also getting ready for another challenge at hand.
Yeah, and Vol State is quite the undertaking, to say the least. So, of course, using these as training runs, which you'll often see athletes do. Obviously, Nick Curry said that was, although he did go for and achieve an amazing PR yesterday, it was all part of the big training plan for 24-hour Worlds. And, of course, you just kind of use these races and these efforts as building blocks to just knocking off more and more A goals as you grow your career and grow your speed. So that's what we're seeing here for Jamila, I guess, with Vol State.
Yeah, and I think that her goal might be to hit about 50 Ks a day.
Wow.
So yesterday in the 24 hours, she finished with 52.72 Ks. But it looks like she, again, did start. Obviously, her time starts when the race starts, but was not completing laps for the first 15 hours of the race. So I think she's using a lot of this as training, and she is closing in ever so quickly on the 50K mark. She is 46 kilometers in right now, so she's having a good go.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, for those of you listening, Vol State is a ridiculous race. It's 500 Ks across the state of Tennessee. And 500 Ks is ridiculous. That's over 300 miles.
Yeah, and JC in the chat, who joined us for most of the time yesterday, is saying that we might have a race down to the wire with Angie Darbison and Alex Ramsey. So, yeah, we will have to keep an eye out on that. Again, they are on the same lap. I have not seen either of them come by, but I haven't been looking specifically for them.
So, yeah, pulling up their stats right now.
And there you see in lane 2 is Miss Jamila, who we just talked about not that long ago. She's just cranking along there.
Yeah, Angie and Alex are they are literally crossing the mat within seconds of each other based on the results on the timing on myraceresult.com.
And it looks like we just missed Alex come through. I couldn't get a read on his bib, but he was on your screen moments ago in the bright green. That information courtesy of the great Jamil Curry, who is our sideline correspondent. And there was Miss Angie Darbison, who just went by in the gray tee, bib 124. So they are not far apart. Not far apart at all, Rob. We might have a little race on our hands.
I think we do. I mean, we're looking at 47 minutes and change to go. And they're both at 123, just over 123 miles. Angie does have the lead. She is crossing the mat first, but if you're following, again, the link to the live tracking is in the description on this YouTube video. And you'll be able to see Alex's miles are updating about a little over 60 seconds after Angie, so it's quite close. She's probably got at that point she's probably got a third of a lap of a lead. Love to see that. There's Jake Jackson plugging along.
Jake Jackson, just out there still crushing it.
He's the Energizer Jackson. He just keeps going and going and changing his wardrobe in the process. Yeah, and again, bummed to see Jacob Moss have to pull out. He was plugging along, and of course he put in a ridiculous 100-mile effort. But as we did see yesterday, he was having some leg issues. Noticeably, honestly, started noticing it about mile 78, mile 70, 79.
That is Marissa Lizak right there.
That is the ultra lean that we see a lot of runners.
Yeah, and it's good to see her still moving forward, as you said, Rob, relentlessly moving forward. She is about 7 laps behind Olivier LeBlond, so I don't think she is going to get the overall 48-hour win. However, she is going to get the win for the ladies, and she's had herself a really good couple days out there at the Pettit Center in Milwaukee.
That's right. She's put in 218.23 miles. And again, each lap is 443.45 miles. So if she clips off a few more laps, she can get herself to a nice even 220. So there is actually potential to overtake Olivier.
I just don't know if she's moving fast enough. What's her predicted? Well, it'd be off
2:21.
average. It'd be off average time.
It would be off average, but it is 2:21. So I don't know. I think that could be in her crosshairs.
What is her current?
2:18:23. She has
1.6 miles, roughly?
1.6. It's correct.
It's going to be pretty close, I think.
So she has about 5 laps. So
Yeah,
that is the
that's-
story to watch right now.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, she's 6 laps back. Excuse me, 6 laps back on Olivier's time, but she doesn't have to hunt him down. It's all about it's not a moving target at this point, and that is her in lane 1 in the black jacket.
And you just saw running in the bright green shirt in lane 1 there is Alex Ramsey. He is the current male leader of the 24-hour race. However, he is second overall according to the updates, the trackers.
How are you feeling, Matt? I mean, we've got a few miles left. Did you have any coffee at your personal aid station to get you through this?
Dude, there's always coffee at the personal aid station.
Is that heated up coffee?
It's like
from yesterday,
Matt's.
though?
It's like Matt's survival guide, or like my survival kit, and the kit only includes coffee.
Right.
That's all I need.
It's basically just there's one thing in your.
Like if you could just
Survival bag?
inject caffeine straight into my veins, it'd be perfect.
No, that takes away the pleasure of enjoying the coffee. No? Because then you could try some different creamers, a little coconut creamer,
Nah.
a little almond milk creamer
Straight black to the dome. Let's get the caffeine in the system so that we can bring the energy. And we've got do we have a Jam sighting?
I think that is a Jam sighting in his classic now red Andorra puffy jacket. Looks like he is double duty, and I think he might be going outside for
A little.
potentially a new camera angle.
Yeah.
He did seem to have some equipment there. Or he's going upstairs to adjust some camera feeds. We shall see.
And if you were just tuning in, we are bringing you live coverage from the Pettit Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as we wrap up the final hour of the 24-hour Saturday event. The 48-hour race is here at 6 days in the Dome, and this coverage would not be possible, Rob, without our good friends at SaltStick.
Yeah.
Don't touch that bottle.
I was about to take one.
No, I need some electrolytes, Rob. You can't just. The other thing that would be in my survival kit for presenting live
Coffee
coverage
and salt stick, huh?
coffee and salt stick. So I'm getting a good electrolyte balance in addition to getting the caffeine and the energy that I need.
What about a coffee flavored? They are flavored. This is
You
tart
can miss
orange.
me with that. Tart orange is pretty solid. So we, if you weren't with us yesterday, we had the zesty lemon lime salt stick fast chews, which I poured into my mouth and enjoyed very, very much. And so now we are on to the tart orange salt stick fast chews, which are also wonderful. Very good flavor profiles.
New question though. Well, before actually wait, one thing before I forget, I did find out that tart orange. You know whose favorite flavor that is?
Taggart's.
Taggart himself, the man, TVE.
Tart
So,
orange tag.
They should call it Taggart Orange.
They
after this.
should.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get a Taggart sighting out there on the track. He did say that he was going to cheer on the runners in this golden hour. But before we move forward, remember that if you would like to try out some SaltStick, just go to saltstick.com and use the code WorldRecord when you check out for 20% off your order. Get all your electrolyte needs. And it's what Taggart uses, and it's definitely what we're using now. So
Yeah. No, I mean, you got to keep the electrolyte balance up when you're bringing the energy here, Rob.
got a question here. What I'm now realizing is JC in the chat, who's been quite active. Is JC Jamil Curry on another device?
Surely not, right?
JC, what is your full name? Because you're making some great points along the way. Definitely not. So sorry for any confusion. So we've got a.
Do you want to change your name to Jamil Curry?
I think it might be after all. But yeah, we got some great storylines. That's absolutely sure. Again, if you are just joining us, we are watching a couple different races here. We've got the race for the 48-hour win and the race for the 24-hour win. We've got will Marissa Lysak pass Olivier LeBlanc, who has bowed out. So it's not a moving target anymore. She literally has a little under 1.5 miles to overtake him with 38 minutes, less than 38 minutes left on the clock. And of course, there is a actual race in progress between Angie Darvison and Alex Ramsey. They are on the same lap with 37 minutes and change to go. And in a moment, we're going to take you to a fresh view on the rink. And we are looking at the Jam Cam by way of drone.
He successfully did not crash the drone yesterday. I have faith in him again today,
Yeah,
Rob.
this is a multi-sport event. Drone obstacle course here. We've got rafters above. We've got 2 rinks. There's some crash pads below. This is quite impressive. And again, like all of our drone pilots that we use for our live streams, they are Part 107 certified. Essentially, that means they're licensed and they've taken their flight test and they've passed it with flying colors.
Or barely. But it doesn't matter. Either way, you pass, baby.
But yeah, again, we are at the Pettit National Ice Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And there is 36 minutes and change left on the clock for the 24-hour and 48-hour fixed time races. Is that Jake Jackson there in the white hat? Just plugging along as if it's his first mile?
I mean, that would be very Jake Jackson-esque, to still be rocking the same white hat and to still be out there just cranking through the miles.
Maybe he'll put the teal back on for the final minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ideal, wouldn't it?
He's got 183 miles on his legs. Could he get to a nice even 185? We'll see. He is predicted to go 185.88.
And he's probably moving faster now than his average pace. Because he had a pretty big stretch there, Rob, where he was either off the track or he was walking and handling business on the cellular phone while still getting the laps in.
That is a good point. He was all business throughout the race, regardless of him being on the phone or not. He was just, again, relentless forward motion. No matter how fast or slow your body will require of you. There's our drone op just below.
And there is Alex Ramsey in the bright green going out
He's
to
cruising.
lane 3. He is cranking along. I believe both he and Angie are going for the outright 24-hour win as well. So there was a Friday 24-hour event where the winner of that event ran 125 miles. So that is their target. They seem to be well on their way to achieving that mark.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I don't believe JC is Jamil because there's no way he's able to type comments right now while also flying a drone. So we're going to have to stick with it.
No, I think Jamil said that JC is Jesus Christ.
Oh, I see. Oh, Jim Rooney's back in the chat. Man, what time is it in Australia?
11:30 p.m.
Oh, okay. So not too late. Don't stay up too late, Jim.
I mean, Jim was up at 2:30 a.m. the other night, yesterday.
2:39 a.m., I believe. Exact. He entered our chat.
Jim Rooney has entered the chat. He said he's got Formula One on one screen and this live coverage on another, so he's just getting dual race footage going on right now.
He is indeed. There is Jake Jackson in the blue just coming past your screen. And right here coming over the bat now is Jamila from Atlanta, Georgia.
Georgia.
And again, we've got a race. I would like to see a few predictions be put in the chat for the two races. Will Marissa win the 48-hour outright by overtaking Olivier Leblanc's time? Or distance, rather. And will Alex Ramsey hold out on Angie Darbison, as he currently has a 25-second lead at last check with about a half hour to go? Those are the two races we're watching now. Let us know in the chat. Marissa is closing the gap. She was 6 laps back. Now she's 5 laps back. And that is as accurate as ever because, again, Olivier Leblanc is not a moving target. He has bowed out of the race at 219.8891, to be specific, miles.
Joseph in the chat, what was the reason Olivier dropped? We aren't sure. I think he was going through some things. He looked a little rough
He
there
had the
towards the
side
end
tilt.
of yesterday's coverage, but we don't have any exact word.
Yeah. The vague but probably still accurate answer would be lots of miles.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, he'd been out there for over 36 hours prior to dropping, so we don't know the exact reason, but yeah, Olivier Leblanc is out, and there you see in the bright green is your current 24-hour race leader, Alex Ramsey.
He is moving smoothly. His last lap was 2:05.
He's going Nick Curry style.
He is just going to keep dropping the hammer. His last 3 laps, 2:14, 2:10, 2:05. The lap before the 2:14 was a 1:57 though. That's ridiculous. So I think we're going to see him. I think he might be in this zone in the final 30 minutes. He's going to try to throw down 2-minute and change laps, give or take a few seconds, and try to expand the gap against him and Angie Darbison. And that's him in the Neon T, cruising along.
And again, this indoor drone footage brought to you by the one and only Jamil Curry. He was looking forward to trying to convince people he could fly the drone indoors, and he was successful. And so we are able to bring you a multi-dimensional level of coverage here. We're getting a little bit of we got trackside cams, we got high angle cams, we got the mobile drone, we got the roaming jam cam. We're just trying to bring it all to you, the viewers out here. And so we are here at the Pettit Center. You just saw Alex go by, and there, I believe, is Angie Darbison. So that is where the lead currently is, as you just saw the two of them go by. So it looks like Alex is probably close to a half lap ahead and is moving quite brilliantly right now. Rob, I think you said his last lap split was about a 2:05.
That is correct. We'll see what his last lap was. Another 2:05. So laying down 3 back-to-back-to-back 2:05. So now it's just clockwork.
Oh, and there he is. So we just saw Angie Darbison moments ago run by, and there is Alex for you as he goes by. So he may get a full lap on her pretty soon. The way he's moving. What was Angie's last lap here? I mean, Angie's still moving strong. She's cranking off right around 2:18s to 2:20s.
Throwing it down. And as we hear now from Jamil, Mike Melton, the timer for the event, just announced over the loudspeaker to the runners, quote, "If you have gas left in the tank, burn it." And that is exactly what Ramsey out there is doing. Alex Ramsey, again, is just putting in
He's
the
throwing
leg
down
work
right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at him go.
And he just crossed the timing mats. Let's see what that latest lap put him at. Do we think it's another 2:05? Another 2:05 on the nose. So the last 4 laps, 2:05, 2:05, 2:05, 2:05. If I'm a betting man, I think he's going to run 2:05 on this next lap.
Yeah, I mean, that's a safe bet there, Rob.
Could we see a 2:04?
You know, he is really just cranking, as my wife would say, Rob, go you good thing.
Go you good thing. But she'd do it in an Australian accent, of course.
Yeah.
So like, go you good thing.
No, but
Jim,
like
was
more
that all
energy.
right? We'll see if Jim approves my Australian
You
accent.
gotta have way more energy than that.
Go you good thing. G'day, mate.
You're missing the boat. You're missing the boat.
You would know better than me. Better than I.
And there you see, I believe, Angie Darbison in the black beanie and the gray tee there in lane 1. So we will see what the lead is.
And keep in mind, Marissa Lysak is now 4 laps behind. She was 6 when we started the coverage. Now she's 4 laps behind Olivia LeBlanc's mark of 219.8 miles. She has just over a mile to overtake the Arlington, Virginia resident, Olivia LeBlanc.
And I just saw Jem in the chat room says, please stop. So I'm guessing that your accent's not very good, Rob. I tried to tell him, Jem. I told him it wasn't very good. But
I think if without being rushed, I think I could do a decent job in Australian accent. I do accents decently. But
we'll put that in the maybe
think
pile.
It's possible. What if I do the next 4 minutes in an Australian accent?
Please,
give me 4 minutes to settle into it, and then we can have Jem come back to us with a.
Please no.
Yeah, so Mark Howell in the chat is asking what venue is this exactly. This is the Pettit National Ice Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is used as a Olympic training center for speed skating. That is the lane that you see in the middle. It currently has. Oh, and there's the drone down there. Yeah, we did lose our drone feed about a couple minutes ago, so I did cut it, but it landed safely. So that was a nice view of the pro pilot himself in the rafters.
The consummate professional.
Yeah.
Making sure the drone lands safely and all.
And, of course, here's a view trackside coming up.
There is Marissa Lysak.
There she is in that black or blue jacket. Plugging along. I think she's going to do it. She's got 22 minutes and change on the clock. Well, let's actually do the math on it now because we can. If she's moving at that pace, which she has been since we've been on the air for the last 38 minutes, if she has been averaging... Oh, that last lap was a long one. Maybe she probably took a break. So now she's averaging around 6-minute laps. So 6-minute laps. She's 3 laps back, and she has 21 minutes. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to the wire to overtake Olivia LeBlanc for the overall.
You know, the question is
that win.
Exactly 3 laps, or is it 2.5 laps, or is it 3.5 laps?
That's a good point. Well,
as you see Alex Ramsey coming through right there, again, still just absolutely crushing.
Yeah, let's take a look at what his most recent lap time was. He had put together 4 back-to-back 205s. And, well, so 205, 205, 205, 205. The last 2 laps, a little bit slower, 208 and 207. But nonetheless.
I mean, that's probably what happens after you've been running for 23 hours and 39 minutes, Rob.
Yep. With 126 and a half, roughly, miles on his legs.
Okay, so he is well into first place overall now. Again, there was, in the Friday 24-hour, there was someone who ran 125 miles. So both he and Angie Darbison have surpassed that mark. So they are battling it out for the outright win of the 24-hour race.
She is back 1 lap. Marissa Lysak in the 48-hour is back 3 laps. So those are the 2 races we are watching with just over 20 minutes left on the clock here at the Pettit National Ice Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The home of greatness.
Well, also the home of youth hockey. I know we don't have any youth hockey today, but we were able to provide some youth hockey coverage yesterday.
Indeed, Matt. We did see some speed skating in the middle. Of course, the ice is not laid out, so they were on inline rollerblades. But nonetheless.
There you see, and there is Alex Ramsey cranking along there. Jim in the chat. My money is on Marissa catching Oliver over Rob mastering the Aussie accent.
That's quite likely. We'll see how that goes in the next 20 minutes, 19 minutes or so. But right now, we're going to check the surf report over in Perth, where Margaret River is just going off with about 18-foot waves. And I think Benji Weatherly is going to come in and probably take the win over Mick Fanning. I told you I'd go for it, Matt. We'll see what Jem thinks.
You know what they say, Rob? Shoot or shoot. So congratulations on giving it a go.
It's been a while. I used to do fake commentary for my friends when we were surfing. I would do commentary on the video of us. We'd film our surf sessions, and we'd go back and watch it, and I would... This is why I don't have friends anymore, Matt.
Back when you were surfing in Long Island?
Back when I was surfing in Long Island.
Tessa in the chat. Is Jacob Moss still leading the 24? No, he is not. He called it a day at the end of last night. I'm not sure how many miles he got in, but it looks like his last lap split updated at 11... at 11:05 p.m. last night. So he has called it a day. And so your current leader of the 24-hour is Alex Ramsey with Angie Darbison in second. Something else to point out here, Rob, is Miss Lisa Devana. I apologize there. Is also having a pretty good go. She's running about 3 minutes and 40 seconds per lap recently, and comparatively is just having herself a good day.
Incredible effort.
She
Love
is
to
the
see it.
second female as of right now as well.
Amazing. And there she is right there, I believe, in the yellow hat. And keeping an eye out for him. Still no sighting of Taggart Van Etten, which would be completely fine. Of course, he's probably recovering after an incredible effort laying it all on the line yesterday. But sometimes we do see the runners come out for these final hour, of which we are now in the final 16 minutes and change here. I wonder if we'll get a Nick Curry sighting. I don't think so. If I were him, I'd probably be sleeping off that 100-mile PR. Again, he laid down a ridiculous 100-mile time. 13:20:56, I believe. And there's Jamil Curry going to retrieve the bird in the sky, his drone. So, yeah, Matt, it's just been quite the last 24 hours. If you are just joining us, we are in the really final minutes and final miles of our coverage here at 6 Days in the Dome. And again, on your screen, that is Alex Ramsey in the neon tee, plugging along. He is trying to expand his gap over Angie Darbison. Both of them are racing for the outright win in the 24-hour fixed time event here at 6 Days in the Dome in Milwaukee. He currently has 2 laps up on her. She had the lead when we started the coverage by about a lap, and now he's overtaken her and expanded that lead to 2 laps.
Yeah, and there you see Angie Darbison right there in the gray shirt and the black beanie. He's just cranking.
Yeah.
You know how Tiger Woods wears red on Sunday? I mean, that's less relevant now, but used to be super relevant. Alex Ramsey wears bright green on Sunday, and he's moving.
He certainly is. That 2-lap lead. Speaking of 2 laps, Marissa Lysak is 2 laps back from Olivier LeBlanc's time or distance in the fixed time event. Again, Olivier dropped at 219.8 miles, and currently Marissa Lysak from Marina Del Rey, California, is at 219.33. She has .5511 to be exact.
Thank you for the precision there, Rob.
So just over a half mile, which would make sense because each lap is just over a quarter of a mile, and she's 2 laps back. So my question is this: if she just does the 2 laps, they would tie. Does she then keep going and say she runs out of time to cross the mat again? Will they bring out the measuring meter? I believe that's what happens. They'll bring out what some people would think is a measuring meter. I think our timer, Mike Melton, thinks it doubles as a guitar. As we saw yesterday, he was meter guitaring at the cone turnaround. So I think they'll have to bring out the measuring wheel.
And there you see Alex Ramsey just absolutely crushing. Yeah, Rob, I think they would bring out the wheel if need to. I think she's going to get at least a full lap or 2.
Above him or?
Above him.
Oh, wow. I mean, keep in mind, she's got 2 laps left, and she's been averaging 6 minutes per lap, and we have 12 and a half minutes to go before the clock runs out. So I don't know that she has time to take 2 laps above him.
No, I said 1 to 2.
No, you said 2, and even if it was 1, it's just not. It's not.
I don't know, but that could be actually a lap and a half and not 2 full laps, Rob.
Fair point.
And there again, you see Angie Darbison. She is having an incredible run. I wonder. She has, I believe she's going to be coming away, Rob, with a pretty substantial 24-hour PR.
Yeah. And, of course, she's already locked in the win for the women's division. But, again, chasing after an outright win as Alex Ramsey holds a 2-lap gap on Angie Darbison. It's Angie versus Ramsey. That's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, Alex Ramsey went like a bit under the radar. He won the highly 12-hour earlier this year. 6th place at the 2017 Biggs Backyard Ultra. So, I mean, he's no stranger to some of these longer races. And, Rob, he was the 48-hour champion at the 2016 Across the Years right here in Phoenix, Arizona. So, I mean, he's got the experience.
He does.
Here, I don't have his 24-hour PR on hand, but this is definitely going to be a big run for him. And, again, Angie Darbison is coming away. She's going to come away with a 20-plus mile PB here, Rob.
That's insane. That's an amazing, amazing mark to hit. And again, as our fans of the chat have pointed out, Marissa Lysak, who's been averaging 6 minute and change pace per mile, has now thrown down sub 6 for the last couple laps. So she has picked up the pace. She has less than 10 minutes, and she's now just 1 lap behind. Can she throw down a full lap above Olivia LeBlanc to take the outright win here at 6 Days in the Dome
Well, there's a better chance of that happening, Rob, than of you ever mastering the Australian accent.
You know what? I might have to say you're right on that one, mate. Because I can tell you by the looks of it, Rooney did not approve of my second take.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
We'll have to go back and review the tape, but and there's Alex Ramsey in the neon shirt again, plugging along. It looks like he might have just put another lap on Angie Darbison, because that is her in the gray behind him. Definitely a thinner field out there, because when you go through all three camera angles, and it's rare to barely have any runners on when you go through all three angles like that. So it definitely shows you there's a less probability of having people on cam, so there's just less people out there. And we do have Nick Curry in the chat. So a big congratulations to Nick Curry on that 13:20, as I'm going to call it, as the myraceresult.com has it, a 13:20.56. But 13:20.56. But again, that is probably, I think it's .02 and change miles past 100 flat. So either way, an incredible PR for Nick Curry, and we watched him just click down the miles like clockwork yesterday.
And Rob, we are now under 10 minutes to go.
We are. We're under 8 minutes. We are at 7 minutes and change here. And the question is, does Marissa Lysak overtake Olivia LeBlanc's time? She is one lap out, and we should have an update soon. We'll see her coming through, trying to find her on the cam. Again, that's Alex Ramsey in the neon. He's just looking stronger every lap as he is on his way to a 24-hour win, potentially a PB here at 6 Days in the Dome.
There you just saw Lisa Devina run past there. She's having herself a wonderful run as well. She is the second place female currently in the 48-hour race.
And here's Marissa Lysak coming up in the black jacket, lane 2 now. If she just crossed the mat, I believe she is now, if she completes this lap, she will have one full lap ahead of Olivia LeBlanc. She's at 2:19.88. I don't know exactly where Olivier stopped on the track after the mat. I'd imagine since he bowed out, it was just after the timing mats.
I believe so, because I believe that when Nick finished, you could see Olivier
yes,
on the floor in the backdrop there.
That's a great point. So I'm going to say that unofficially, I can't confirm, but I think Marissa has this one in the bag. She threw down her fastest lap in quite some time just before. She threw down a 4:52. The last time she threw down a lap faster or as fast as that was at hour 49. So almost 10 hours ago. She has not thrown down a lap that fast.
And just another update here, Rob. Alex Ramsey just threw down a 1:54 lap.
No.
I wouldn't lie to you.
Stop it.
I wouldn't lie to you.
I'm seeing a minute 42 on his
That
last
just
lap.
updated,
Yeah, you're right. A minute 54 previous lap, 142 on his last lap.
What was Nick's last lap? Do you think?
I believe it was a 126.
Is Alex gonna give it a go? See if he can get the fastest last lap. They should give prize money for that. Like, oh, if you have the fastest last lap.
It's a 127 last lap for Nick Curry, according to the race tracker.
Ah.
A 127, and we did hear Mike Melton say to him that was the fastest lap of the day.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what Mr. Ramsey can throw down. I mean, that would be incredible. You said he just ran a 142.
142.
I mean, that's a 142 at this point is pretty.
Look at him moving. That's him in the
insane.
neon tee right there.
He's
going to
throw it down.
I think he might be on his way to a 135 or something like that right now. So we'll take a look. You know, we'll see if we can get maybe a quick word before we end our coverage with either Marissa or Ramsey, or maybe even just get a check-in with Jamil, so we can give us a little bit of some insight on what the scene is like down there.
You're gonna have the
Angie's
the
pushing.
6-day runners coming in soon.
That's Angie Darbison.
And right behind her is Lisa Devina. And again, Angie has obliterated her 24-hour PR per my calculations.
And I'm trying. Trying to find. And there's Angie is cruising.
Is cranking right now.
Jake Jackson.
Jake Jackson just still out there grinding away.
Looks like he might have just hit a goal, as he does have a little under 2 minutes left.
Here you see Alex coming through. How confident is he? Does he think he can crank out another one in a minute 40?
Dude, he's cruising. Looks like he's
going
on the lap.
for it.
Looks like he's on the final meters of an 800.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. That last lap from Alex Ramsey. 144.
He's gonna need something a little faster to get a full lap.
I will
in.
say, keep in mind, that was what Taggart was averaging for the majority of his race yesterday. So it just shows you how fast he had to run for the whole time. And Angie just came through. You know, that might be.
It looked like that was it for Angie.
Yeah. Oh, there's Jacob Moss.
Man, the seconds are clicking down.
Look, everybody's chasing. They're cheering on. I'm going to imagine they're cheering on.
Oh, my goodness.
Alex
there
is
he
coming in. There is 19 seconds left on the clock.
Wow.
And he's going to do it with a clean, even lap finish there coming through. Whoo!
That was amazing.
That was Alex Ramsey. That puts his overall total. Now, will Marissa Lysak be able to come through?
And
She's
there
still
it
on the
is.
track. There it is, 48 hours right there.
I have to know what that last lap was.
Yeah. Alex Ramsey just threw down a 127 final lap, tying Nick Curry.
Oh, my gosh. That was crazy.
Amazing. Let's listen in to the scene at the finish. We've got Jamil Curry out there.
How you too?
Jamil, what's the scene like out there after that 48-hour and 24-hour race wrapped up?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone's just dispersing all of a sudden. But yeah, it was pretty electric. Alex going for that final lap just before the buzzer, so to speak. So some people are heading out. We got a lot of 6-day runners arriving. They're pre-race nerves. They're all excited. So yeah, it's always awesome to see the end of a race like this, kind of that golden hour, people pushing. You know, some of the people that stopped earlier in the night are encouraging people on, and people are getting their buckles right now, getting their timing chips taken in, and just kind of celebrating the day.
That's amazing. Yeah, and Alex's last lap was the same time. It was a 1:27, just like Nick's final lap. So those seem to be the two
That's
fastest
amazing.
laps on the track. So, yeah.
Yep. That's good stuff.
And, any word on Marissa Lizak? Did we see her? Did she have to get her final lap measured out to see if she officially overtook Olivier Leblond?
No, there was no final measurement. They have to complete a full lap.
Oh, okay. So it would be a tie.
So yeah, kind of is what it. Whatever it was, that last lap is what it is.
All right. Well, thank you for the update, Jamil.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take it back to the studio now. And I think that is going to – is Alex doing a shakeout run?
You got to cool down.
There
You can't go from a 127 to a full stop, Rob. That's how you get hurt.
Shaking it out.
You gotta ease the body back to its homeostasis, Rob.
I guess so. I think he's just doing a little bit of a shakeout run right there, Alex.
I think that's his victory lap.
It is his victory lap. And as you can see, the scene.
And there
he is, the man himself, Alex Ramsey.
I'm still amazed at that last lap.
That last lap was ridiculous.
Well, it was a little over a full lap too, because he came in to the timing mats in an all-out sprint so that he could complete the full last lap.
He did, because I was under the impression that they would bring out the measuring wheel, but that's not the case.
I wonder if that's only for
maybe the measuring wheel
timed records.
Potentially, or
For
maybe
like a
it's
world record
just
or...
the air guitar of choice for Mike Melton, as we did see him playing it during the cone turnaround yesterday.
I mean, either way.
Either way, so I'm just trying to, before we go, we'll see if we can get any confirmation on if Marissa Lizak she did run a 4:52 final full lap.
Yeah, and that's the last update I'm seeing over here as well. So she may have called it a day at that point. That looked like the last time we had seen her cross.
Yeah, 2:19.88 for both Olivier Leblond and Marissa Lizak. And, of course, right there on the screen, we've got Angie Darbison talking to Alex Ramsey. They were racing each other down in that final hour. Of course, Alex overtook her and finished a few laps ahead with a 1:27 final lap here at the Petite National Ice Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This was the site of the both 24-hour and the 48-hour fixed time races. Of course, Taggart Van Etten was unable to achieve the world record at the lightning fast pace that he set out on yesterday, but I am confident that he will be back to try that again. Maybe at this venue or another. I'm excited to see what he does throughout the rest of the year. But for now, this has been the coverage at 6 days in the Dome, and we're going to take it back to the studio. Matt, I think you have any final words here at 6 days?
Yeah, I mean, all the runners, I think, did a really good job of just laying it out there. Some people had the days they wanted. Some people didn't, but it was amazing to follow along and see and watch the journey unfold for a lot of these runners. I mean, you had Angie Darbison, who was the 2019 runner-up at 6 days in the Dome 24-hour, comes and gets the victory on the ladies' side and sets a massive PR. I don't know what her final distance was, but her PR coming into this race was 109 miles for 24 hours, Rob. And I believe that last we checked, she was at 129 miles or something like that. So big run from Angie Darbison, and then obviously Alex Ramsey's final lap and Nick Curry's big 100-mile PR. Those were the big takeaways for me over the last couple days.
I'd have to agree. Yeah, to see every runner that towed the line just completely throw it down with relentless forward motion. Jake Jackson went the whole way, even despite the rough patches in the 48-hour race. So maybe not the race he wanted, but again, it's really not about hitting that A goal every time. It's about laying it all on the line and giving what you've got on the day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of times races like this are about solving problems and continuing to move forward. And I think that
is the name of the game in ultra running.
Yeah, and sure. You saw even Marissa Lazak. You could tell she wasn't having the day she wanted by the time she hit the 46, 47 hours. But she kept moving forward, and she came away with the ladies' win and tied for the outright win as well in the 48-hour race.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. So I think we're going to get ready to wrap up our coverage here. But again, I do want to thank all of our viewers that joined us for the Friday pre-show, all 14 hours and change of coverage yesterday, and of course for the final miles here at
Golden
6
hour.
Days in the Dome, Golden Hour. I want to thank all of you. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for Steep Life Media. Hit the like for the video. Check us out at Steep Life Media on Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias. We will be back with more live streams, more content, more podcasts. And again, I do want to thank our presenting sponsor for this event, SaltStick. Go to saltstick.com, type in the code WORLDRECORD for 20% off your electrolyte needs, because you can fuel just like Taggart. And one more shout out, these Run TV shirts will still be for sale. 50% of the proceeds will be going directly to Taggart Van Etten himself, so the link is in that description. I'm sure we'll do another post about it on social to remind you if you still want to get your hands on these limited edition 1059 or bust or Run TV shirts. But that said, I'm excited that we're going to have to try to live stream the next time Taggart goes for the world record, because if anybody's going to go sub-11, it's going to be Taggart Van Etten. So on that note, signing off from Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks for going virtually with us to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm Rob Ricardo.
And I'm Matt Feldick.
And this has been the 6 Days of the Dome / Taggart Van Etten World Record Attempt presented by SaltStick. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you.